Coming to you live from the palatial studios of PBJ Productions. Welcome to Patrick and BJ Talk Real Estate, where we talk about life, the universe, and everything as it relates to real estate. Hey everybody, it's BJ.
And Patrick.
And we're back talking all things real estate. And guess what? Right now is the worst time to buy.
No. It's the best time to buy.
This is not a Dickens novel.
Well,
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. From A Tale of Two Cities.
right. But that's the conversation happening over and over again, right? I've been selling real estate for a long time, 2 decades now, right? And when it's been a hot market and things are like out of control a little bit and people are bidding on things, people would come up to me and say, this is the worst time to buy. I was like, oh, why? Oh, the prices are all going to crash. It's going to, going to do this. It's going to do that.
Yeah.
And then when it's slow as possible, like a snail's pace, nobody wants to buy.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, wait a minute. It feels like this is a great time to buy. There's so much selection, all of these things, right?
Yep. So here's my number one upfront take on it is, first of all, it depends on you, the individual.
Of course.
And your situation that you're in, whether it's a good time to buy or a bad time to buy, if it's a good market, if it's a bad market. So first of all, I don't think there's a carte blanche answer that applies to everybody.
That's a really good way to put it. Like, let's start it off with that. That's awesome.
That's number one. Okay. Number two, I think there's a reason that when the market looks like it's not just the real estate market, but let's use stocks, Wall Street. There's a reason when everybody is selling and the market is just going down. There's a reason that guys like Warren Buffett sit on their cash and wait and then buy.
They're taking the emotion, or someone like that is taking the emotion out of it. And he's probably gotten used to what the cycles look like too.
Sure.
Knowing, like, timing the market is one thing.
Yeah.
I think there's almost no point in timing the market. I think look at other factors, but go on with your point and I'll add to that later.
Yeah, simply the point is, if everybody is selling, and guess what that might mean? It means you as a buyer have a great opportunity to get some value because the prices are maybe not where they would be if there was less inventory, less stuff on the market. So that's the time to have a look and see what's out there and say, okay, well, there's a little bit more downward pressure on the market. This is a good spot for me to step in.
Yeah, definitely. I think, and that speaks to to each person's comfort zone.
Yeah. The other thing is I think it's important, where are you getting your information about the market, about what to do, how to handle the market? I think of these commercials that I see. When it comes to regular TV, mostly I watch the sports channels, but there's a commercial in and I don't watch commercials very often either because I PVR everything,
so I can skip everything,
but there's this
good old days. That was like pop culture, knowing all these words. When we still reference like 80s and 90s commercials.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sure. Absolutely. I was explaining to my daughter. I said, even to this day, I'm 54 years old. So let's say this is when I was 10 years old. Even to this day, I know that Oscar Mayer has a way with BOLOGNA. Right?
Yeah.
My baloney has a first name. It's OSCAR, right? It's engraved. But anyway, I saw one of these commercials where this guy is talking. It's a betting commercial. So they're talking about, one guy's talking about he's got this app and how it limits and makes sure that he's betting within his means and he's in control and he's not getting emotional and getting out of his whatever.
I need that app for my pantry or the fridge. That's it. You reach your limit. It's locked out.
Yeah. But so then the other guy, he's like, wow, that's way better than my system. And he says, what's your system? And they walk out to the garage and he's got 2 balloons and the cat. And he's like, well, if the cat hits this balloon, I go this way. If it hits this balloon, I go that way. So same idea here is take a look at where you're getting your information.
Maybe take several points of information,
Yeah.
like even if it's has the opposite answer to what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You could get in a trap of, like, I think it's called groupthink, talking about like these books from a long time ago.
Yeah, group speak.
Group speak, groupthink.
Groupthink. Yeah.
Right? Where it's like, oh, just because these people are all saying it doesn't mean it's entirely true. Like, at least balance that out with, well, what does the opposite say? And look, do they have valid points?
Yeah.
Or are they lacking evidence or common sense? Right?
100%. It's called confirmation bias.
Confirmation bias. Thank you very much.
We tend to seek someone to agree with us and give validity to our thought, our opinion, whatever it might be. So when you're going out there to get information, don't just write something off because it maybe doesn't line up with what you think or what you would like to do or how you would like to handle the situation.
And you could be influenced, right? They could be your parents, could be your friends, could be coworkers, that all say things, or maybe there's an influencer or the news, and something that they said resonates with you. But maybe, taking a step back and be like, oh, I'll take that. I don't know. I'm very much like, I'll take a piece of it, new information. I don't make a judgment on it. I put it in a box and I wait till do I get more information?
Right.
And I don't have to make a decision or jump on an opinion on something. Obviously, I have opinions. I'm probably really opinionated, but I try to be open to other information first, and allow myself to change my mind if there's sufficient evidence for that, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to real estate, looking at I was reading this Canadian real estate investment magazine from a long time ago. They would compare different areas, right?
Okay.
And I thought after reading this really good article, it was like pages and pages and pages. It was pretty in depth. It was pretty good. I thought it started sounding like I'm looking at locations, provinces, like municipalities, cities, as if they were companies.
Okay.
Like, so I'll relate this. I think this is a known fact. You can Google it. Like, how many income streams does a millionaire have? And they'll say typically a millionaire will have 7 different types of income streams. And however you rate that, we're not going to talk about that today, but just stating that. So looking at a company, if they have multiple ways of being stable, like sourcing income.
Yeah.
So I would look at a municipality, city, province the same way. If we have an example that one city, municipality, is completely reliant on one resource being at a certain price, like people talk about boom and bust towns, right? And it's all based on commodity prices, basically. So if the pulp mill shuts down, that's it. Unemployment, the thing that drove that area. Yeah. Well, know that going into an area where it could be very risky if the major employer is relying on one resource or one product.
Sure. And
right?
Edmonton is a great example, which is where I grew up, which is an oil and gas town. It's diversified considerably since then.
Yeah.
But oil and gas still drives a big part of Edmonton's economy.
That's just a fact.
Regardless of your opinion about it, that's just the reality of it.
So that's how I look at things. Like, so even if it's a good time to buy or a bad time to buy, if the price is right, we talked about your own personal conditions. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready to take that step? And when I was 19, 20 years old, that was the furthest thing from my mind.
Yeah.
I wanted my own independence. I wanted to go to school. I wanted to find a career, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
I wasn't really thinking about like, I should buy real estate, right? Not like now. It's like when I talk to the kids, it's like, as soon as we can get you on the property ladder, if we have to help or however, like, do it as soon as possible.
Right.
But, not just anywhere or anything.
Yeah.
Of course, there's probably limited choices to get on the property ladder. But pick an area where it has good fundamentals, where it's not relying on one single industry for employment for the entire area.
Sure.
That's what I would start.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons. Now, Victoria has some drawbacks for a place to buy a home. typically price in terms of for first-time homebuyers. But Victoria has on the other side of it 3 things that drive our economy that are reasonably strong. The government, which we know they're not going anywhere. IT, which we know is growing and growing in technology and everything else that we see, and tourism, which now that we're through COVID and we've kind of rebounding the other side, we're seeing tourism take off again.
Right, where tourism used to be like the biggest sector that we had, right? So we have like you said, government. We're a military town, government. We have
And the capital.
how many universities? We have UVic, Camosun College, Royal Roads,
Yeah.
and Lester B.
Camosun.
Pearson.
Yeah.
So we have 4 basically postgraduate schools, post-secondary schools.
Post-secondary, yeah.
Plus hospitals, all of those things, which are really like, it's all government funded or well, maybe not the private
Sure.
university, but there's a lot of spillover just from that.
Yeah.
And then we start taking into like IT. IT moves here because, well, maybe they don't have to go to the corporate head office.
Yeah.
They can live in a place where it's the lifestyle we have
Yeah.
here. Right. We just talked about weather.
Yeah.
We had snow last week, and it's like there's some remnants of it here, but
Yeah.
it's mostly gone now after
It's like 10
a
degrees.
few days. Right?
Yeah, 10 degrees today.
No,
10
it's
degrees.
a no jacket day, and we're almost at the end of January.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fundamentals there. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not an analyst for stocks or companies. It's just I learned a few things to look at.
Yeah. And I think something that goes then with that, by doing that, you're also, I get that purchasing a home there's an emotional component to it. But one thing that we're doing is saying, okay, let's set the emotional part of it aside. And if we're talking about an investment property or, like you said, for first-time property, maybe for kids, what we're saying is let's make sure that we're also making an informed decision, not just an emotional decision.
Right. I'm going to add to that. Don't let it be an emotional reaction.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I want to clarify, there's going to be some emotion, but you don't want to be overruled by, I've done it, where I bought something on emotion, and then reality hit, and I was like, I should have thought this one through a little bit now.
Right. You might not have, I'm gonna support that. You might have like a limited amount of like places where you can look. Okay, that's going to be around job employment, maybe education.
Yeah.
In some cases, right? So, but within those areas, what is going to be the more desirable areas where the prices are higher? It's going to be closer to post-secondary school.
Yeah.
Where is the highly rated high schools, elementary schools?
Right.
The proximity to the places like that.
Yeah.
Will tend to drive the prices of homes and desirability higher. Mm-hmm. So without getting into every aspect of that, that's one of the major factors.
Sure.
And if kids are not in the picture, then it's like where are the major employment and how far to commute are you willing to drive to change the price?
Right.
And then that's going to affect the stability of pricing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah. I think that kind of covers it. Is it a good time? Is it a bad time? Again, ultimately you decide for yourself where you're at, if that makes sense. But we've covered some basic things, I think, that address that, whether it's right or wrong for you. You're going to have to figure that out timing-wise. But there's some practical things we've given you that you can use, I think, in terms of what neighborhood, what city, what community, what area, all these kind of things. So, and trying to take emotion out of an emotional decision. It's
not that easy.
It's not that easy at all.
Yeah.
I'm telling you from experience because, bought a house because this was in Edmonton many years ago, but bought the house just because I liked the house. We liked the house, liked the area, great location. But afterwards it was kind of like, yeah, this needs some work. This needs some this. This is a much longer drive than we thought to get to work on a regular basis. This large lot was wonderful, is a lot of lawn to mow and snow to shovel, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And when you made that decision, it was probably a little bit romantic.
Yeah.
Like it's a little bit of look at how beautiful this house is.
Right.
And you don't think about what is it like to live in that house.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, thank you for joining us today. If you haven't, please take a minute, subscribe to our channel. We are putting out 3+ episodes every week. So you want to make sure that you're getting a hold of those and not missing anything. If you have any comments about what do you think, we'd love to hear it. What do you think? Is this the right time to buy? Is this the wrong time to buy? And give us your opinion. Give us some feedback. We loved your comments, and we read them all. So
that was a really high level view of that.
Yeah.
But if there's any particulars that, hey, maybe we should have mentioned this or that, put them in the comments below. We want to hear those. So, and of course, if you need some assistance with real estate in Victoria or the Southern Vancouver Island, we'd love to help you with that, either buying or selling, or if it's just a question, you can put that in the comments below, or reach out to us directly as well.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Remember, same bat time, same bat channel.
See you later.
See you.